happy closed the kitchen. So beautiful to see everybody. So happy to see everybody. Want to tell you I love you all. So grateful for you. And today is Love Letter Day. I hope everybody got the love letter. Hope everybody read the love letter. If you didn't get the love letter, get on it. Big feelings, Susie. That's right. Lots of, I mean, I'm overwhelmed with feelings, to be honest with you. I'm overwhelmed with feelings today. So many, so many. Andy is off of sugar and flour for 15 days. And here's what I want to say about Andy. Andy is like just a living example of resiliency. Because here's what I love. I love a lot of things about Andy, but here's what I love most about Andy that we can all learn, which is that Andy is one of those people who never, ever, ever gives up. She falls down 7 times, she gets up 8, and now she has 15 days to save for it. She has 15 days. And Andy, guard it with your life, my girl. Welcome to your new life, you know? Fall down 7 times, get up 8. That's the deal. That's what we do here. We are warriors, warriors, warriors. Jennifer's asking how you get the love letter. Great question, Jennifer. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. MollyCarmel.com. So easy. Oh, one of my beloved best friends, Michelle, is on here. I love you. So yeah, a lot of feelings. And, you know, gosh, it's like that's really what I want to talk about. But I also want to talk about what we talked about in the love letter today, because I actually think it so links to how we can be helpful in this world, you know. And this idea of not giving, you know, really being able to set boundaries, right? Really being able to say no to things, so that, remember this, like, we can only get, you know, we can't give what we don't have. And I think this idea of pleasing other people, and most of all, you know, I have had the opportunity and the privilege of being a food addiction therapist for, you know, 15 years. And so I have sat through so many people's stories of what happened in the episode of self-abuse with food or overeating of food. And I'm going to tell you something, like 90% of the time, it comes from saying yes when you mean no, overcommitting, you know, and then coming home and having that incredibly empty feeling, and that sometimes very shameful feeling. Do you guys know what I mean? And that sometimes really shameful feeling, and that overwhelmed feeling, and that exhausted feeling, right? And by the way, what I want to tell you is that feeling is you abandoning yourself. It's you not taking care of yourself. Here's what we know today. Here's what we learned. I mean, we didn't learn this today. It's just stark raving in our face, which is that the world needs us very, very badly, and it needs all of us. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we go and give all of ourselves. That is such an addictions and eating disorder way to think of it, right? We so think about we so think about quantity and not quality, right? And what I wrote about in the love letter today was the story of actually last Sunday, where I was supposed to have, you know, I just moved out of my apartment in New York, and I moved back into this house that I'm living in Stamford. And, you know, and I woke up in the morning like so exhausted. And I was talking on the phone with like one of my one of the closest people to me, my power circle, who really, really protects my boundaries. He's really good. He's like the CEO of my boundaries. He's like the CEO of Molly's Energy. And he said, you know, how are you having this meeting? Like, that's so, you should cancel it. And I was like, I can't let them down, blah, blah, blah. I can't let them down. They've all adjusted their time to meet with me and blah, blah. I give this whole thing, you know, by the way, it's like so much shame. It's my own shame, whatever. And so he says to me, oh, okay, you know, but he said this thing. It's actually really beautiful, and I want you guys to know it. And so he said to me, listen, I want to say that if you wrote a letter to yourself saying that this is what you're about to do to yourself, was about to sit in a meeting for 2 hours doing creativity, where it's really, really self-harm, I don't think you would be okay with that. I don't think you would be okay with that for you or anybody else, because you can cancel the meeting. You're choosing not to cancel the meeting. That's the extended version. You didn't get that in the love letter. And here's the thing about me. I don't know if you're like me. I need a minute. Do you know what I mean? I need a minute. I need a minute to sort of let it all simmer. Because me, I'm so defiant. I don't know if you're like me. I'm so defiant. I'm like, I hate, hear you, but not going to listen to anyone else like that. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Next. But I know that about myself. So we've talked about this so many times in Close the Kitchen. So I usually ignore my first thought. My reactionary thoughts usually just like, it's just no. So anyway, I let it sit with me for a little bit. And he was right. 100% right. And I'm really lucky. I really would, as I was writing the love letter today, I was really thinking, like, there are a lot of people who don't have the same opportunities that I have, and that, like, they own their business, or they work with these really wonderful people. Because I wrote my team, and I just said, you guys, I really underestimated how exhausted I was going to feel today. I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule? I run a culture like that, where, like, I'm all about people taking care of themselves. So if anybody wants to come work for me, just know that. And anyway, so I was able to do it. And oh God, I mean, the kind of self-harm I would have been to myself, I could have done it, you guys. I'm a hustler like the rest of you. But we always forget about the quality of our presence, because we get so obsessed with the quantity of our presence, and with not letting other people down, and with pleasing other people, and with trying to meet other people's expectations of us. And what gets lost in that, right? I mean, what gets lost in that. Us, our needs, our wants, our energy. This is so important. And I mean, this is important as the incredible amount of epidemics that are going on in our country that need us so badly. Like, they need us so badly. But they don't need this, like, strung out, people-pleasing version of us that we're trying, right? They need the very best version of ourselves. And that, my beauties and my loves, that is precise. That is precise. And that is you taking care of yourself, that's in alignment with your personal integrity. In a crew like this, that's people taking care of their relationship with food, taking care of their relationship with themselves, taking care of their sleep to the best of your ability. Listen, some people have 3 jobs. Some people have a whole ton of kids, right? But it's really, really making sure that you attend more to the quality of your presence than to the quantity of your presence. And what that also means, my love, is that you're going to have to start saying no. I don't know who was on the webinar with me and my beloved Brad Reedy, but he said something in that. I think he said it in that. He said it. He's the one who said it. And he says, if you're not pissing people off when you're setting boundaries, then you're not setting boundaries well enough. And, I always think about that. I mean, I didn't think I was going to be pissing anyone off, but it's like, a lot of times in order to say yes to ourselves, we have to say no. That's finite. And I want to say one more thing about it, which is this. I am a full-time, I could quit my job and be and be a full-time believer in this idea of a spiritual vacuum. And what the spiritual vacuum says is that when you let go of something, then something better comes in its way. When you let go of something hard, something's better. So Sherry, my beloved Sherry, is saying that she doesn't know how to say no. Now, Sherry, I don't love that languaging. I don't think you don't know how to say no. I would really watch that languaging, because that's not a contract I think you should sign. But I might say that it is very challenging for you to say no. And I would really examine, honestly, if saying no is hard for you, what I really want you to examine, and if you have a therapist or a coach or someone really trusted in your power circle to talk this out with, I think it is like, God, is worth all the money in the world. It's this. It's really, really getting to, what am I afraid of if I say no? Like, what am I afraid of? I had to learn how to say no very late in life, and I was always scared people were going to leave me, people weren't going to like me. But you guys, listen, Sherry and Carol, you have to not say, I don't know how to say no. You're unskilled at saying no, that's a different way to say it, or it's hard for you to say no, that's a fine way to say it. You know how to say no. No. It's not like, it's just hard for you to do it. And you want to get to the bottom of it. You want to really get curious about that. And you want to get curious as to what's in the way. And remember this from old school Close the Kitchen. But, you know, when we're feeling like that, you know, we want to ask ourselves, you know, what's the threat? What's the threat of saying no? And usually it's going to be like, I'm going to let people down. They're not going to like me, you know? And if you want to know what I have to say about that, people who don't respect that you need to say no and take care of yourself are not your people. And I might say that getting into a healthy relationship with food might be impossible if you can't get people that are going to support you, at least some of them. It's very empowering. It's one of the greatest acts of self-love is saying no in the spirit of saying yes for yourself, because my loves, who's going to stand up for you if you're not going to stand up for you? And as we think about what's going on in our country today, in our sweet country, learning, you standing up for yourself helps you to stand up for others in the most beautiful and miraculous way possible. You know, being an example of somebody who holds their truth and can stand up for themselves and can therefore help others to stand up for themselves and you can't do that. And you can't do that when you're deep in the food, and you can't do that when you're deep in the self-hate, and you can't do that when you're deep in the people-pleasing. You just can't. I'm so sad today that I can't like sugarcoat anything. I don't have it in me today. I really want to say that to you. You deserve to say no so that you can say yes, because you deserve to come into your power and come into your truth and come into your integrity, because that is what the world needs right now. It needs for us all to stand up and stand in our power so that we can help others to do the same. That is literally why we are here. That is literally why we are on this earth, is to love and be loved and see and be seen. And that is what's going wrong right now. So, do it for the sugar, do it for the country. You know what I mean? Do it for the sugar and do it for the country. That's what I can say for you. We have such heart holding tonight, my loves. We have such heart holding. So let's, So Carol spent the day cleaning up her city. What a beautiful act of service, Carol. Thank you for doing that. So let's put our hands on our hearts today for ourselves and just for the world. My goodness, if the world doesn't need a big holding of their heart, I don't know who does, my love. So, and then let's close the kitchen. Who is closing the kitchen tonight? Amazing. Amy's closing the kitchen. So many hearts, so many heart emojis everywhere. Amazing. So Karen's closing the kitchen. Josh, I love you, closing the kitchen. Janet, Crystal, Lisa, Susie, much love to you. Bernadette's closing the kitchen. Rachel, Zach, love you, close. Liz, Jojo, Oakland, Emily, Bernadette, Roseanne, thank you, Jean, Sherry, Andy, we'll see you on day 17, my love. Sharon, Karen, Janice, Laura, Liz. Saying no is one of the greatest gifts that you can give yourself and others, I promise. Brenna, Teresa, and Teresa. Victoria, welcome, 4 weeks. Congratulations, welcome to Close the Kitchen. Carol, Sue, amazing. You know, I love you guys so much. You're my beautiful, beautiful community. I love you. And just remember, if nobody's told you that they love you today, I love you. And I will see you on Tuesday. Good night, all.